guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Fire Neurons, and I am here with the new video AI knowledge representation, which would be useful for the NTA UGC Net for Computer Science paper 2. Let's see what is knowledge representation. As you know, AI systems can be represented with the different kinds of knowledge, and the main elements that is required is object, and the object is that all the facts about the objects in our world domain. That means that when you want to express about an object, whether it is a book or a guitar, let's say a guitar, what it contains, what is the nature of it, how it is built, that it is contains strings, trumpets, or which are the brass instruments, right? So defining the object is a fact about the object in this world domain. And the next element is the events. Events are the actions which occur in our world. What are the actions that is executed by the object that can be defined in the world, which is expressed in the world, is indicated by events. The performance, it describes the behavior which involves knowledge about how to do things. What and all way you can represent the knowledge, that is the performance. The meta knowledge, it is knowledge about what we know about that, about the fact. What is the, how to express the knowledge, how to express the knowledge about your fact. Well, it can be an object or a thing that is defined in the world domain. So what is fact? Fact are the truths about the real world, what we represent. So along with it, we can combine all these things, and we can say that a knowledge base is a central component of the knowledge base agents, which is the agents that you have learned from the last video, and it is represented as KB, capital letter KB. And the knowledge base is a group of the sentences. So here the sentences are the technical term, and it's not identical with the English language. So as considering the knowledge is an awareness or familiarity gained by experience of the facts, the data and the situations that is in the world domain. So these are the elements that we need to represent the knowledge: an object, an event, and the performance of the knowledge, and the meta knowledge, what we know about the knowledge, the facts, that is the truth that is there or defined for it in the real world, and the knowledge base, which is represented with many sentences. And knowledge is awareness of familiarity gained by experiences of facts, data, and situations. Now, what are the different types of knowledge that exist? Is the structural knowledge, that it explains about the relationship between the object and the concepts of concept between the objects. Declarative knowledge is about the facts about the objects, and the heuristic knowledge is that we are adding some element so that we can gain the facts about the knowledge in a quick manner. That is heuristic. You are adding some intelligence, that is rule of thumb, to gain the fact about the knowledge or about an object. So that is heuristic knowledge. And meta knowledge is knowledge about knowledge, and procedural knowledge. And if you consider or if you add some rules for the procedure to gain that knowledge or represent that knowledge, a conditional rule, that is called the procedural knowledge. So the different types of knowledges, relationship between the object concept is explained in the structural knowledge. About the facts, object facts, it is described in the declarative knowledge. And when you add some intelligence or a rule of thumb into the knowledge to represent, that is called the heuristic knowledge. And meta knowledge is knowledge about knowledge, and when you add a rules to explain the knowledge is the procedural knowledge. So declarative knowledge is to know about something, that is, it includes the concepts, facts, and objects, and it is also called the descriptive knowledge, and it's expressed in declarative sentences. You are declaring it, right? I am so and so. You are declaring it. That is descriptive knowledge. So when you compare with an English knowledge, the declarative sentences that you express is called is the knowledge representation. What we use is called the descriptive knowledge, and it is simpler than the procedural knowledge language. Now, when you consider the procedural language knowledge, it is known as imperative knowledge. So imperative sentences is mainly considered for procedural knowledge. Is a type of knowledge which is responsible for knowing how to do something. It can be directly applied to any task. So we can include rules, strategies, or procedures, agendas, etc. to this to represent the knowledge. So procedure knowledge depends on the task on which it can be applied. So declarative knowledge is expressed in declarative as declarative sentences, and procedural knowledge, when we compare it is with the declarative, it is expressed as an imperative sentences. So what depends on the task on which it can be applied, that is procedural knowledge. So simpler, considering the procedural knowledge, when declarative knowledge is simpler than the procedural. Then meta-knowledge, knowledge about other types of knowledge is called meta-knowledge, and heuristic knowledge is representing knowledge of some experts in a field or subject. Heuristic knowledge is rules of thumb based on the previous experiences, awareness of approaches, and which are good to work but not to be guaranteed. So what is that, sir? We are using the searching methods, right? That is, you are using some intelligence, and when you want to start from a journey from from the start state to the goal state, which is the best way, that is heuristic. You are adding something, the weights or the heuristic methods or rules, that is that to reach that goal state. Like that, in this knowledge is rules of thumb is based on the previous experience, how, and the awareness how to solve the problem. If you have that awareness, it has also been used for representing this knowledge. And so which are good to work, but it cannot say that it would be representation would be a perfect or precise. That is what is said, that it is not guaranteed. Now structural knowledge is a basic knowledge to problem solving, and it describes the relationship between various concepts such as the kind of, part of, grouping of something. So it describes the relationship that exists between the concepts, or you may say that it is a relationship explaining the describes the relationship between the objects, right? So these are the different types of knowledges that that we come across. And when you consider the main structure representation of knowledge, we say that we have two types, the weak slot and filler structure and the strong slot and filler structure. So weak small slot and filler structure, when you say that it is weak, so the knowledge representation here would be weak compared to the strong slot filler structure. So here the elements that we use is the slot, and slot, what is considered as an attribute value in a simplest form, is a representation of the attribute value in a simplest form. So if you are considering a book, what are the book have, the number of pages, the author, what is the book specialized for. So each attributes can be, when you specify some entity, you have a person, means a person can have two legs, two eyes, two ears, right? So what are the attributes, the features of that person, that is expressed in a slot. That is attribute value pair in its simplest form. A filler is a value that a slot can take, could be a numeric or string or any data type, or it can be a pointer to another slot. So value given to an attribute or a feature is considered as a filler. Filler is a value that a slot can attain, which can be expressed in numeric or string or any other data type, or it can also give you a pointer as a, can represent a pointer to another slot. That is filler. So slot and filler structure, a weak slot and filler structure does not consider the content of the representation. So the knowledge would be represented in simple English sentences, and that you have to express by representing the different structural representations, and which is of two kinds, weak slot and filler structure. So here and strong slot filler structure. So in the case of a weak slot filler structure, it doesn't consider what the content is. Content of representation is not concentrated. So the two main representation is in AI is semantic net, which may be also called as associative network and propositional network, and the other is frames, right? So let us consider the semantic net. What is how it is represented is, it consists of a set of nodes and links. The links is also called as edges, and each link would be named, which is called the link labels. Okay, and the representation is that the various elements that is used is circles, ellipses. That like a flowchart, you have different elements. Nodes are represented as circles, by circles, ellipses or rectangles, and rectangles to represent the objects, okay, which is maybe physical objects or a concept or a situation, whatever that you have to represent. So the main criteria that is used, the object is used, is represented as or considered as a node, and which is represented in circles or ellipses or rectangles. Links appears as arrows to express the relationship between the objects, between the two nodes. What are the links? What is the relationship between the two objects? How it is related to the two objects, related to two nodes, related to is represented by links, and it would be labeled specifying the particular relationship. So relationships provide the basic structure of organizing the knowledge, and the objects and relations involved need not to be so concentrate. So what are the objects and what are the relations, that is not mainly concentrated in this type of structure representation. And as nodes are associated with other nodes, semantic nets are also called as associated nets. So since the representation involves a set of nodes and they are related with linked with links and associated with the link label, they don't represent the content of the representation. So as such, it is a cluster of node representation. So it is called as associated network or associated nets. That is semantic net. So let us see an example of it. See, you have a diagram, a figure which includes expressing the persons, a class persons. So here the main the main attributes or the relationships are instance of, and that means subset of, and a member of. Instance of is member of, and the class of, the ISA is a subset of. So ISA and instance, that is the main attribute relationship that has been explained in semantic net, which is considered as ISA is subset of and instance is member of. Okay, so here when you consider the person, a person has two legs. Here when you have a question, when you arise a question, you should have you can represent that when you are given a sentence and you are representing in a semantic net, what is the context that you are representing, that is represented by nodes, right? Here in this case, Jill and Jack is the main characters, which is represented by node circle, and Jill is the sister of Jack here, right? And these two persons, Jill and Jack, are coming from the female person and a male person, and which is a subset of person, right? So female person and male persons are subset of ISA of the person class, and person comes from the subset of mammals or the subclass of mammals, right? So here when you say that how many legs Jill has, you can say, you can trace this by moving from the node, respective node, to the arrow indicator, and see whether you can express that sentence that Jill has had two legs, right? Here in this case, Jill is a member of female persons, and when you go up, subset of person, and so person is having a rule of inference which is specified that legs indicates an attribute leg or defines an attribute legs, and leg is having a filler, that is 2. So Jill, which is a female and is a class of member of person, is having 2 legs. So Jill has 2 legs can be represented by this representation structure representation. Jill is a sister of Jack. Yes, you can represent it, and Jack is having again legs of 1. How can you say that when a sentence is given that Jack has 2 legs, you can represent Jack has 2 legs? Why? Because when you move from the downward arrow to down to upwards, Jack is a member of male person, and it is under the subclass of person, and again here it is linking to that the legs is having 2 values, right? So Jack can be said that Jack person is having 2 legs, but here in the attribute it has been specified legs 1. So how can you, this representation gives you a false value. Jack is represented, or Jack can have two values. Jack has legs 2 or 1 is a confusion fact. So we may say that the knowledge representation here is a weak slot and filler structure. So when you want to represent a sentence clearly, you have to indicate the rule of reference, whatever be the condition that is represented by the links or the link, and whether you can gain that representation is then you may say that it is a strong representation. Otherwise you may say that it is a weak slot and filler structure. That is why semantic net is called as weak slot and filler structure. I think it is clear for. Then comes the next weak slot and filler structure is frames. And frame is a type of schema used in many AI applications, including vision and natural language processing. So frame, it is represented for grammatical representation. We can say you can use frames. Provide a convenient structure for representing the objects that are typically typical to the stereotypical situations. So the situation to represent may be visual scenes or structure of complex physical objects, etc. And frames are also used for representing common sense knowledge. So you can widely comparing to the semantic net, you can widely describe the objects about what class, what are the attributes. Again you can indicate the attributes can again be described. So you need you can say that a record or frames are created for each attribute, right? So allow nodes as frame allow nodes to have structures. They can be regarded as a three-dimensional representation of knowledge. So you may call that frames can also be considered as a three dimensions. That is, you are describing each and every slot that is the attributes that have been defining the object into again another slot. Each attribute is again from where it is, from where, which context you are using that attribute, what and all values that attribute can take, and all together that also are considered as a frame. So a three-dimensional representation of knowledge is can be expressed by using the frames. Let us consider a small example. A frame for a book. The slots that we can use here for defining a book is the publisher name, the title, author name, the edition, which edition is it, in which year it has been published, and the number of pages. Okay, and the values, as I said, the fillers is used for the values. It represents the values that has been gained by the slot. So for a publisher, that is Thomson, publisher is a Thomson, and title is Expert System, and author is Gary Antonou, and edition is the third edition, and in the year 1998, and the pages is 600 pages. That is a frame for a book, right? I am just considering an example for a book. This is the way that a frame can be used. Again you can say the publisher, and what is publisher, again you can express that. Then another slot is expressed by using the publisher slot. Again you can specify the title as another slot, and you can divide it. The ways you can represent it is in a three-dimensional representation. That is what the frame express. Next, if you consider the generic frame, that is, you are not giving generalize the term. So for example, when you want to consider a computer, slot is the name of the name, which object you want. Okay, that is name, computer. Specialization, what does computer mean? That is a kind of machine. What are the different types of computers? It can be a desktop, laptop, mainframe, supercomputer. So if you want to add any information further, you can specify, and procedure also. That is, procedure is named as add computer. That means the variety or different types of computer that you can indicate can be added by a procedure. That rule is indicated in this slot, that is if added. Okay, next slot is speed, which is by default it is faster. So if needed, again you can specify the correct speed of the, or the precise speed, fine speed of that machine. So the name of the object, that also you can add as add computer. When you have specified the computer, you can specify any rules that can be added further. So location is another slot, which is having whether it is used at home or office or mobile. What is the thing that you are representing as a computer, which is the location. And under warranty, yes or no, that is the only option. So whether it is having a warranty or not. And again you may say extend it by indicating the time period of the warranty. you can add slots. So this is the generic frame, a kind of frame that can be generic to to any object. So when you are adding something about the object that is specific, you are considering a frame or designing a frame for a book, means you have only other option that you have to specify what and all the attributes that is indicated for that particular book. When you say generic, means it is all together. When you want to specify the object, what is the name of it, what is that specialized for, well, whatever it is, whether you can say the instead of computer you may say it is a mobile. So what kind of machine it is, what type it is, right? What is the size, what is the GB, memory space, that and all can be added to it. This is what is called the generic frame. So that is frame for a specific frame as well as generic frame.